Hi, I'm Nate with Yamaha, and new for NAMM 2016 is the Yamaha Montage. So the Yamaha Montage is a new synthesizer that features sophisticated dynamic control, massive sound creation, and a streamlined workflow. So one of the sophisticated dynamic control elements in Montage is the super knob, and with this you can radically change the sound or you can change it just a little bit. It depends on what you want to play. For example, this CFX concert grand piano. So another example of sophisticated dynamic control are motion sequences, and these are tempo-controlled control sequences that you can assign to almost any synthesizer parameter. Check this out. And then another aspect of sophisticated dynamic control is the envelope follower. This can take an audio source, either from the analog to digital input or an internal sound or a return from your DAW, and turn it into a control source. Check this out. Montage has a new kind of synthesis called the motion control synthesis engine, and you just heard an example of motion control. Motion control controls two engines inside of Montage: FMX, which is our modern frequency modulation synthesis engine, and AWM2, or Advanced Wave Memory 2, which is our sample and waveform playback system. Let's check out a little FMX here. So what you heard was a little bit of the FMX engine. This is our modern 8-operator FM engine, and you can hear how dynamic it is, especially when you pair it with the motion control synthesis engine, how much the sound can change. FM is really an amazing synthesis technology because it's so dynamic and so clear and so capable of a wide variety of sounds. It's a really cool new feature in Montage. So the other synthesis engine inside Montage is AWM2, or Advanced Wave Memory 2. This is proprietary Yamaha technology for compressing audio data and playing it back without loss of quality. Montage has nearly 10 times the preset waveform memory as the Motif XF. It also has a great new feature called seamless sound switching. This lets me play a performance and then switch to the next one with no cutoff in sound, effects, or anything. So I'm going to play through a couple examples and you can hear how I'll change from one performance to the next with no cutoff. In Montage, a single performance can have different scenes, and this lets you switch different parts in and out, switch motion sequences, switch the arpeggios, everything like that. In this particular example, I have a bunch of electric pianos from early 70s to late 70s, and I can switch between them using the scenes. Check this out. So what you just heard was the RD gallery performance, where you have 4 different vintage electric pianos, and you also have complete control over how much mechanism you hear. So you can be playing like you're the guy in the headphones and you just hear the guy plunking away on the keyboard, but you can dial in as much of that as you want, and it gives you a more authentic sound. You can kind of age your piano just with this slider, or pull it back and have a really clean sound of a fine-tuned vintage instrument. It's a really detailed, cool way to interact. So we talked a little bit about the sophisticated dynamic control and the massive sound creation of Montage. Let's talk about the streamlined workflow. And one of the really cool things about Montage is via a single USB cable to your computer, you have 32 channels from Montage and 6 channels back. So you can record every part of Montage in stereo to your computer, and you can take 3 stereo channels back and do processing like the envelope follower or use the onboard effects. It's a really powerful system, and it's really simple because it's a single cable. That cable also contains all of your MIDI channel data, so you can do all your sequencing you want alongside the audio. Very cool feature in Montage. Another part of the streamlined workflow of Montage is the live set. The live set lets you organize your performances into any order you want. So you can organize them by a set list for a gig, or maybe you have certain categories of sounds that you want in your own order. You can put virtually as many live sets together as you want, and each one has 16 slots and 16 different pages. And selecting them from the touch screen is super easy. You can just hit live set, select, or you can select using the LED switches on the right side of the keyboard. So just to give you a couple other really cool features in Montage, of course, you've seen a lot of me touching the touchscreen. You've got a color touchscreen, and Montage can be operated entirely from the touchscreen or from any of the controls. So you have a really versatile workflow with Montage. You also have endless rotary encoders with LED indicators and step ladders on the faders. So this is a great way to know exactly where you are in any performance. Montage also features a pure analog circuit output. This occurs after the digital to analog stage and gives you a really clear, strong, balanced signal, perfect for interfacing with live mixing boards or your audio interface. Finally, Montage is compatible with the Motif XF, Motif XS, and Motif ES voices. So this gives it access to a huge voice library. Yamaha will also be providing a number of DX, TX, and other 6-operator FM sounds on YamahaSynth.com. The Yamaha Montage. Ask about it at your local Guitar Center or check it out at GuitarCenter.com.